If you're missing this step, you are costing yourself engagement. That's a hook, right? That's today's topic on Master It Monday. I'm going to share with you the top social media hooks that you can use in your social media to draw your audience attention and keep them engaged. Now, when you're looking at your social media, you need to know that the first 3 seconds of your social media post is what people are seeing. They're looking at it in 3 seconds. You have 3 seconds to grab their attention. And that's where the hook comes in. That's your first few words or the first couple of sentences in your social media post, right? That's what's drawing in your audience. So you need to really engage them. You need something short, attention grabbing, and you need to have this hook as the first thing that people see when they look at your content, as they look in your caption of your content. Of course, you need stellar graphics to go along with it, but you need the attention grabbing headline or message in the beginning. And that's what a hook is. When you create your social media post, you should have a hook. You should have the meat, the thing that you're going to be talking about. Maybe you talk about a pain point and the solution. And at the end, you want to have a call to action. So this hook needs to drive them in so that they read the rest of your of your social media post. And that's why it's important to have a hook, because that hook is going to suck the reader in, right? Now, I want to share with you something that I recently read in an article about the psychology of hooks. And it was written by Dan Bischoff, and he talked about the psychology of hooks and why we're drawn to them. So, when you look at a hook, you need to look at things like, does it evoke emotion? Is it drawing you in emotionally? Does it touch something, right? That a pain point or a feeling that you have. Is it something beyond our reality? Maybe something we don't know about it. Is that true? Is it what? Or like I didn't know that, right? Um, is are you educating a niche audience? Like, when we're talking about our social, we always want to make sure we're keeping in mind our ideal client, our audience, who that is. So are we educating that audience with this hook? Are we driving curiosity? People want to know, inquiring minds want to know, remember, right? Like, what is it about the post that's going to start that intrigue, right? And then, of course, the last one, the psychology, is, does it acknowledge a deep seated fear? As business owners, we tend to worry about a fear of success, fear of speaking in front of an audience, fear of not succeeding, not making the money we're hoping to make. All of those things are the psychology of, and things you can apply to psychology of hooks. I'm going to give you a few examples today, and then we're going to show you how you can make this a lot easier. So don't forget to stay to the end of today's Master It Monday. We're here every Monday at 2 p.m. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on LinkedIn, and you can also find us on YouTube. And we're on Instagram with tons of tips, but our YouTube channel has over 180 videos, and you can see every Master It Monday that we've created. And I want to make sure that you understand today's presentation is about creating those amazing captions in your social media, that text that people read. But don't forget, we also love our Canva, and Canva can help you with the graphics to go along with that. Remember, people, you've got 3 seconds, right? We talked about this. You have 3 seconds to grab that audience attention. You need a stellar graphic to go along with your awesome hooks that we're going to be sharing with you today. So let's go into a few examples of hooks and I'd love to hear your comments. Leave a message, leave a message below and let me know what you think of some of these, or what are some of the hooks that you use in your social media that you found effective. So here's one. You won't believe this, right? What won't I believe, right? Curiosity, intrigue, right? Like, of course I'm going to believe this. What does this make you feel when you read something like this? You want to read more, right? So remember, that hook is designed to help drive that audience to just read that next line. A friendly reminder too. I use this a lot when it's, especially when it's the holidays. I always say friendly reminder to update your Google My Business hours so that people don't, so people know when you're open, when you're closed, right? A friendly reminder also gives that kind of, oh, they're trying to help me, right? This is a nice thing. Let me find out what it is, right? Want to work smarter? Question mark. Of course, we all want to work smarter, right? But I'm giving you an answer, right? Follow these tips. If you want to work smarter, follow these tips, right? But I'm asking a question, right? I'm not saying work smarter by following these tips. It's a little bit different. So think of a question you can ask. Now, this is just an example, right? Take these tips and examples and tweak them, right? This is to give you ideas, right? This is not entirely true. Wow, right? It's not saying it's it's totally not true. It's saying it's not entirely true, right? What you're doing is you're like, well, what's not entirely true? Hmm, you know, and sometimes people will test these well-known phrases or theories, and they challenge them and they say why. Like, recently I was on a call with Chaz Wilson and he said something along the lines of, you know why the top 100 list is flawed, right? Why is it flawed? Why is your top 100 list flawed? And he challenges it and says what it is. It says why he feels it's flawed, right? Not that it's wrong, that it's not the best, that you shouldn't be doing it. You're challenging a bit of it. And it also brings that, oh, that's a common thing. I want to find out, why is that not entirely true? What's this person's opinion? What's your opinion? They want to know your thoughts, and this will draw them in to do that. Oh, here's a fun one. Game on. Let's try this, right? You are Use a vernacular that's common to your audience. Now, especially if you're somebody that's that has the brand is on gaming or sports or whatever, right? This is a cool one to use, right? Because you're saying game on now. This is saying game on. Use something else. If you're in the health and wellness industry, use something that is common vernacular in the health and wellness industry, right? Like, let's get healthy, or let's do this, or let's whatever, right? Like anything that you can get to to speak the language of your audience, and like, see how these are short. It's like short and snappy, right? Short and snappy. Here's another one, breaking news, right? Or you can say something along, this just in, or we just found out. However you're bringing this in, whenever there's a change in the social media, which happens quite frequently, um, we may do something like this where we'll say, breaking news, this is happening. Did you hear? You know, this is something that you want. You're again building that intrigue, building that, I don't know, right? We talked about educating, right? Your niche, this is where you're educating them and keeping them up. It's also a way to gain those followers that consistently go to your social, so that they make sure that they're keeping up with what's going on because they know you're a valued resource, right? I lost so much by doing this simple thing, right? By not doing this simple thing, right? It You're speaking to them about a pain point you have, they probably have as well, right? So when you say something like this, it's not always, this isn't a positive thing at the beginning. It's going to turn into a positive thing because when you're going to be writing the rest of this caption, you're going to have the details on how to help them do the simple thing. That's you, right? Great. I just made a huge mistake, right? What's the mistake? I want to know. What did Maggie do that she made a mistake? I want to hear this, right? Is it Schadenfreude? Right? We want to know. Well, oh no, poor Maggie, or somebody maybe poor Maggie. She made this mistake. What did she do? And I'm going to give her some love and attention in the comments. Or they may be like, it may be a huge mistake, like you know, I went on vacation and I didn't take pictures. I could have set up pictures on, for my social media, right? I don't do this. If you're going on vacation, make sure you take plenty of pictures with your brand and in great, exciting locations, right? That could be a way where you're owning up to something you did, and you're also helping your audience along the way, right? Um, and here's another thing. Have you tried this before? Have you? Oh my goodness, I haven't. And of course, I throw in emojis and things like that, right? Because I know that when I add an emoji, it's adding not only a pop of color, but it's adding that. It's giving them the feel of what the emotion is going to be. So I could put a winky face, or I can put what I'm trying before. Maybe it's a camera, maybe it's a cell phone tip, right? And I can put a cell phone or with selfie, that selfie cell phone emoji. So whatever you want to do with your hook here, you can take a look and create um, this this amazing connection with your audience. Hooks have sometimes can have a negative connotation, but remember, you're trying to get your audience to read and in a sea of massive content, right? So please make sure you look at your social media posts, even the ones you've created and scheduled already. See if you have a hook. Now, I promised you I would share something at the end of today's Master It Monday. So I'm going to add this here. We have something called Painless Posting. It's a tool that you can use to easily create your social media. And we've implemented hooks into our social, um, into painless posting. So you're looking here, you can see here's painless posting. We have a number of, a post a day for every day of the week. We also have hashtags and so on. But let me just talk about these posts that I have here. These Each day of the week has a caption and a graphic. So when you go into painless posting, you have here here it is. If you're looking for a summer getaway, well, yeah, I'm looking for a summer getaway, right? You can copy and paste this, and then you add in those teal sections, you add your own content, right? Here's a way of creating hooks um, without creating hooks because somebody else is doing it. Of course, we also have the graphics to go along with it that you can use. Here's another example of a hook. Nothing like a good tune to perk us up, right? You could do something, we always say copy, paste, tweak, and post, right? So you could say, I love a good tune, or do you know what my favorite tune is? You know what my favorite song is? Something that builds intrigue and curiosity. Here's another example. My business name, was nothing more than a pipe dream last year, 5 years ago, whatever it was, right? And look how far we've come you know? Here's another example when you can use those fun hashtags of the week, the weekdays. It's Wake Up Wednesday and it's time to debunk a myth about. That's one of my favorites, right? So when you're looking at your social media content, I want you to take a strong look. And when you're creating it, take a strong look at your social media hooks. Think about your readers. Talk to people, get your accountability partners involved in this. Look at your social media content and see how you can improve it by creating these amazing hooks to draw in your audience and keep them engaged and keep them asking. And remember, don't forget that call to action at the end. The call to action, you need that hook, you need the meat, like the pain point and the solution, and you need that call to action at the end. That formula, those 4 steps will give you a successful social media post. And that call to action should drive them to do something. Don't just let that amazing post go to waste. Tell them to DM you, tell them to call you, tell them to email you, tell them to comment below, whatever it is you want them to do so that you can help them grow their business. Now, that's what we have for today's Master It Monday. I hope to see you next Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're here at Master It Media. We help you take the commotion out of your promotion. Have a fabulous day, and I'll see you next Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern.